Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all safe and healthy. So today I'm here at Luxury Drive to take a look at the brand new 7 Series, and in this video we'll be answering one main question: whether the new 7 Series is the best luxury car in its segment or not. And a bit sorry for my voice, I have a bit of a sore throat, so my voice might sound a bit different than it usually does, so sorry for that. And before we go ahead and take a look at the car itself, I just wanted to give a big thanks to Luxury Drive for allowing me to come here and make the video with the 7 Series itself. And to show my appreciation, I want you guys to go ahead and follow them on the Instagram page to take a look at all the amazing cars that they have. And the link is in the description below. And if you're watching this video in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and you're looking to buy the new 7 Series or any other car, for you I'll be leaving the location link in the description as well. You can come here, visit, take a look around their showroom. They do have a really nice collection, as you can see behind me, so there might be something you might like. And if you're new to the channel, guys, do leave a like and do subscribe to the channel as well, and do turn on your bell notification so that you'll be the first ones to know when I upload new videos. And now let's take a look at the 7 Series. Alright guys, so here it is, the all new 2023 BMW 7 Series. As you can see, we have two in particular. This one, the one which I am reviewing, is the 735i. That one over there is the 740i, and as we all know, there is an M760i as well. So in total you have three variants, and obviously these are the combustion engine ones, but you do have the i7 as well, which is electric. But currently in Saudi Arabia I have not seen an i7 in any of the dealerships or showrooms, so today we'll be focusing on the combustion engine. And let's go ahead and start with the design itself. And at the front, it's the most controversial design again from BMW after the new M3. So as you can see, we have a pretty huge grille, and they have totally changed the headlight structure and everything, and it looks completely different to the previous 7 Series. The online photos don't do any justice to the new 7 Series. When you go ahead and look at it in person, it does look a lot better. The grille, though, I will say that I would have loved it if the grille was a bit shorter. The width is okay, but I would have loved if it was a bit shorter. It just looks like the car has buck teeth. It doesn't look that good, the grille, but overall the design, when it comes together, it does look acceptable. It's not like how people are saying like it's so ugly and all that stuff. It looks good. And then looking in the front itself, you can see we have the radar sensors for all your safety systems. You have your camera for your 360 parking assist, and up top we have the BMW badge. Then all these grille shutters, as you can see, the grille is currently closed up. These are active grille shutters, so when the engine needs cooling, these will open up to allow air to flow inside and cool down the engine. Then down below we do have some more openings for your radiators, and along the side we have the headlights. And here's the new key, by the way. BMW have finally changed their key. So you have your lock button, that is the BMW logo. You have your unlock, trunk opening, and favorite button. Then we come to the headlights, and as you can see, it's a split design. We have LED DRLs up top, and the main headlight system is down below. BMW LED is written right over here. And if you want to turn on the lights even when the car is turned off, you just press this button for 1 second. You can see the headlight turns on. Looks quite good, especially the LED DRL. It just looks like you have mini crystals inside. And if you want to take a look at the indicators, I'll just press the unlock button over here, and those are your indicators. And also another thing that is standard on the new 7 Series is the illuminated outline of the grille itself. I hope I can show it to you clearly, but you can see the outline of the LED strip. It is turned on, and when all the lights are turned on, here's how it looks. So there we go. Then another thing on the side, you have the air curtain from where the air flows towards the side to improve efficiency. Then as we move along the side, I just wanted to show you the shade of paint that this particular BMW has. It is a very dark blue metallic. I hope I can show it to you clearly. So as you can see, under the showroom light, the paint flake shows up, and it looks really good. But under the showroom light, it looks black. But in the sunlight is where this particular color will shine a lot. And being a BMW, you do have a lot of color options, interior leather options, and a lot of rim options as well. Coming to the rims, these are 21-inch rims. I think you have an option of 22-inch as well. These are the M Sport rims, because this particular 7 Series is equipped with the M package. So you get the M front bumper, M rear bumper, side skirts, and all that stuff. The standard 7 Series looks a bit different. So these rims are sitting on a 255 section tire with a 40 series sidewall, and you can also see the brakes at the back. No M Sport brakes actually, because this is the 735, and you can also see the M logo as well. Then you can take a look at the side view mirror, the blue color showing up here as well. and it looks quite good. You can see we have the 360-degree camera as well, and when we take a look at the side profile of the new 7 Series, it looks quite good. It definitely looks like a luxury vehicle, but at the same time it has sporty proportions as well. When compared to the S-Class looks much more curvier, but this has a much more sportier stance, which looks quite good as well. Then you take a look at the new door handles, and to open them you have a button on the interior, but you also have a button over here as well, and you can close the door through this button or the button inside the handle. And along the side, BMW have introduced a lot of new sensors which do play a role, and I'll show that to you later on when we go towards the interior. And then as we come towards the back, you can see we have the new Hofmeister kink, and we also have some design elements into the quarter window right over here. Then we come to the rear wheel. It's the same 21-inch size, but the tire is wider. It sits on a 285 section tire, and it has a 35 series sidewall, but overall the rim size is same. And you can also take a look at the rear brakes from here as well. Then let's move towards the back, and as you can see, the rear design looks a lot better than the front design. That's just something everyone agrees on. Also, you can see we have the 735i badge. The 740i is right over here, and there's the 740i badge. And then since I told you this has the M kit on it, you get a rear deck lid spoiler, and you have a sportier rear bumper design as well with some diffuser elements. You can also see the chrome along the bottom. If you want, you can black it out. BMW gives that option to you. But one thing I really like here is that there is no fake exhaust. The exhaust is hidden inside. Only if you go for the 760i model, then you get the exhaust over here at the rear bumper, but otherwise if you go for the 735 or the 740i, the exhausts are hidden. Then let's take a look at the rear tail lights, and as you can see, there are a thin strip of LED over here, and they wrap around the rear. You have the same design element that you had on the quarter window along with your BMW logo as well, and these are how the indicators turn on, and overall the rear end looks quite good. Then let's move on to the boot space. So to open the boot, you can use the key fob, or you have this button right over here, and the boot opens up electronically. And inside you can see we have a spare tire over here, but if you remove the spare tire, you have 525 liters of space, or 18.5 cubic feet, which is quite good. The Mercedes, I think the S-Class does have a bit more space, but I think this is pretty usable. If you go for the i7, by the way, the i7 has less boot space, like 500 liters, so only a difference of 25 liters. That's mostly due to the electric motors and all that stuff. But with the normal 7 Series with the combustion engine, you do get more space, and overall it's a pretty good size. Okay, so now let's talk about the engines. So like I told you, we have the 735, the 740i, and we also have the M760i available here in Saudi Arabia. Both the 735 and the 740i come with the same 3-liter inline-6 twin turbocharged engine, but the one in the 735i produces 286 horsepower and 425 newton meters of torque, which is like 313 pound-feet. The one in the 740i produces 375 horsepower and 520 newton meters of torque, which is like 383 pound-feet. And obviously the one in the M760i, which has the 4.4-liter twin turbo V8, that produces 544 horsepower. So that is obviously the one you want if you are looking to get performance out of the 7 Series. But for most other people, I think the 735i and the 740i are pretty good choices as well. And all 7 Series come with the 8-speed automatic transmission, and the 735 and the 40i are rear-wheel drive. The 760i is all-wheel drive, and altogether this package can go from 0 to 100 in the 735i in around, I think, 6 seconds, which is quite respectable as well. And you have top speed limited to 250 kilometers per hour. If you want a bit more performance than this, then the 740i is, I think, a good middle ground. It can do 0 to 100 in 5.4 seconds. So I think the 740i has a pretty good balance of performance and luxury in the 7 Series lineup. So that's all I have to say about the engines. Now let's move on to the interior. So before we move on to the interior, I just wanted to give you the price of this particular 735i. So in luxury drive, the price of this 735i is 640,000 riyals. I'll convert it into dollars and put it down below for you guys. As we move along towards the interior, there is another thing that I wanted to show you. That's the advantage you get with buying the inline-6, and that's a good fuel economy. You can see we have 14.1 kilometer per liter. And let's move on towards the interior. And something I told you about all those sensors at the bottom, you have another sensor right over here, and they work in this fashion. So as you can see, there is a button right over here, and there is another button under this section over here as well. So if I press this button, you will see the door opens easily and it stops right before hitting this 7 series over here, and that's because of the sensors. So it can easily judge the distance between like objects and everything, and according to that the door opens in a way so that it doesn't hit those objects. But there is another thing, I'll just show it to you. Since these are automatic doors, and if I stand in front of this door directly and I open it up, you will see it opens up a bit, it judges the distance and it will not hit me. So that's quite a nice feature. And if you press the button again, the door closes itself. So quite a nice feature to have. And now let's open up the door and take a look at the door trim itself. So as you can see, the ambient light flashed red because it considered I was standing here just to warn, like if someone was sitting there and they opened the door, and if someone was walking through or a cyclist was coming through, that door will flash red so that no accidents happen. Quite nice feature. And now let's take a look at the door trim. So as expected from BMW, the door trim is really nice and soft. It's covered with this black leather and it is really nice and soft. You see we have the crystalline seat controls, which again are quite nice as well. And we also have the optional Bowers & Wilkins sound system with a really nice speaker grille cover. And then we come to the star of the interior, and that's the ambient lighting hidden inside this crystal design, which looks quite good. And all of these are actually touch sensitive buttons, so you can just press this over here and different settings pop up, and that's your central locking as well. These are your memory controls, and overall this looks quite nice. Then moving below, we have this nice soft leather over here as well. I think it's more of a cream color, and definitely with BMW you have a lot of leather color options as well, so you can choose whatever you want. And then we have some more speaker grille covers over here, which looks quite good. You have ambient lighting over here, and you can see the window controls, your side mirror controls, and your trunk release as well. And this is an electronic button to open your door, and down below is a mechanical latch to open the door. If all the electronics fail, in case of an emergency, you can use that and get out of the car. Then you can see we have some decent amount of storage and another speaker grille right over there. Since this has the M kit on it, we have the M side sills, and here's how the seats look, which are quite nice and soft. The headrest is nice and soft, the whole seat back is nice and soft. So that's your seat. And now I think we should take a seat inside and I'll show you around the interior. Alright guys, so I'm in the interior of the all new 7 Series, and to close the door, all you have to do is press this button right over here. It's a touch sensitive button and the door closes itself, which is quite nice. And now let's start up the systems. So you have your start stop button right over here, and you press that once and all the systems are on right now. And let's talk about the interior. So as you can see, BMW have completely changed the interior of the new 7 Series, which I think is quite a nice thing. The previous BMW interior design was getting a bit too old, and this new design looks pretty nice and fresh, which I think is quite nice. I love the layered dash design. Like you have one layer over here, which is by the way pretty high quality. Then you have another layer right over here, and everything that you touch in the new 7 Series does feel pretty high quality. The screens are nice and solid. They don't move a lot. They don't squeak. They don't make any noise, which is quite nice. And one thing I have to say, I have the seat set to its lowest position, and the hood feels pretty high up. So like the 7 Series is a pretty imposing car, and when you compare it to the S-Class, I feel like the S-Class, when you approach it from the front, looks smaller than the new 7 Series. And this thing, when you approach the 7 Series, it looks much more like substantial in front of that S-Class. Just because of that imposing presence, I like the 7 Series a bit more than the S-Class in terms of the exterior design itself. But now let's see if I like the 7 Series more than the S-Class in the interior as well, because the S-Class interior is among my most favorite interiors in all like luxury cars. And when I reviewed the S-Class, I didn't want to get out of it. I was so comfortable in it and I didn't want to leave at all. So that's how much I like the S-Class interior. So let's see how the 7 Series makes me feel. So I talked about the dash already. The other new thing that BMW have done is obviously the screens. You have the new iDrive 8 system. This is I think a 14.9 inch screen, This is a 12.3-inch digital screen. It has a slight curve to it and it looks pretty good. The graphics are really nice and high quality. The touch is really nice and responsive as well. This is the home page. Actually, this is how the tiles look. You can customize it however you want, but you do have an app drawer, and you click this and you get to go into your apps, and you have a lot of different apps. You can see BMW ID, mobile devices, personal assistant. You have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, radio, navigation, weather, seat comfort, live vehicle, interior lighting. You can do a lot of stuff, and let's go into interior lighting for now, and let's take a look at the ambient lighting. So at the moment it is set to the blue color, which is actually my favorite color in terms of ambient lighting. I like that a lot, but let's take a look at the different colors that they have. So we have a lavender, which looks quite good as well, and the color is really nice and bright, which I like a lot. Otherwise, in some luxury cars the ambient lighting is pretty dim. I didn't like that a lot. The S-Class did have a really nice ambient lighting, but I think I'm starting to like the 7 Series ambient lighting a lot more. Then we have like flamingo, we have papaya, we have tons of different colors, and you can choose whatever you want. You have turquoise as well, as you can see, and the color representation is really nice, but I'll keep it in indigo because, like I told you, blue is my favorite color. And you have reduced for night driving setting as well, so in the night it might be too bright for you, so you can reduce the brightness automatically, so that is quite nice. Then you can see we have some other features as well. So we have the optional theater screen at the back, which I'll show it to you when we sit at the back. Then we have some exterior lighting features, displays, and all the other stuff. We have some infotainment apps, like they have segregated it in different ways. So that's the new infotainment display, iDrive 8. I'll just show you how the navigation looks, and this is how it looks. Then the other thing that BMW have done, which I'm not that fond of, are the climate controls. They have completely removed it from here, and they have integrated it into the screen itself. So you can see we can adjust the temperature from here, but then if you want to adjust certain parameters, you have to go into the climate menu. Then you have your heated steering wheel, heated seats, ventilated seats. You have your fan speed right over here. So as you can see, all these functions are integrated into the screen, which I think is a bit too much. Like while driving, it might be a bit difficult to hit those certain buttons, and it will definitely make things harder for you. But I think maybe once you get used to it, you might be okay. But still, I prefer having proper dials for things like climate control and all that stuff. Then we move down, and you can see we have this sort of carbon fiber finish, and it also looks like they have some metal inserts inside, which by the way looks quite nice. All this trim is here on the seat backs as well, which again is pretty nice, attention to detail. And overall I do like the whole dash design. I'll just try to show it to you as nicely as I can. As you can see, the overall dash design looks quite good. Then moving down, you can see we have the fan control here. So these are all touch sensitive buttons, and you can adjust the fan speed according to that. This is for your defrost, and then you have your hazard button. You have another button, I'll just show it to you later on. But you might think that there is no AC vents anywhere, so where does the airflow come from? And BMW have cleverly hidden the air vents behind this LED strip right over here, and you can adjust the airflow via these levers over here, which I think is quite nice. Another thing that I wanted to show you is that when you press the hazard buttons, you can see the whole LED the ambient light flashes red, which is another attention to detail which I quite like. They didn't need to do that, but they still did it, which is quite nice. Then we come to the steering wheel itself. So BMW have redesigned the steering wheel, and I think it looks quite nice. It feels pretty nice to hold. You have a flat bottom steering wheel with your M logo, since like I told you, this has the M Sport package. And they have also changed this section over here. Before it used to be circular, but now they have gone for a more hexagonal pattern. Then here we have the cruise control settings. Over here we have some volume controls, and your digital display controls. You have some paddle shifters at the back. Then here at the back you have your indicator controls, and you have your wiper controls right over here. And on this side You have the control for your AC vent, like the fan speed control for this AC vent over here, your button to open the door automatically, and some other light controls as well. Then let's take a look at the digital driver's display, and for that I think I'll have to turn on the car, so I'll just do that. Okay, so here's the driver's display now, and as you can see, it has similar design to the previous digital driver's display, but they have definitely changed the graphics and it looks a lot more sharper now. And I hope you can see the scanners going off over here in the camera. So those are all the 3D like scanners. They scan your face to see if the driver is paying attention or not. Then one more thing I can show you now, since I've started up the car, and that's your heads up display. I hope it shows up now. It's a bit tough to capture it on camera, but there it is, somewhat you can just see it. So there's your heads up display as well. So as you can see right now, we have your speedometer, your tachometer, you have your temperature, like the engine temperature, and your fuel gauge over here along with the range. And in the middle at the moment it is showing your fuel consumption and your odometer as well. But you can obviously go through different settings in that as well, and you have to use this button over here. So you press that and you can see we have like different settings. So we have like just showing your speedometer, then you can show like safety systems, then you have your AR content, which will show you like which will impose directions when you are following a navigation path. So like if you have to turn this side, the camera will impose some arrows on this display so that it tells you where you have to turn. So that's quite nice. Then you have another like compass, then you have another content which shows you the map. Then you have another one which shows you the tire pressure. No, this is the G meter, and this will show you your music. But I think I like the standard one a lot better. The one just shows you the speedometer, but you can obviously change the layouts as well. So we have a wide layout. This is the narrow layout. You have a wider layout. Then you have okay, this one looks a bit weird. So this just shows you the speedometer over here, but I quite like this one. It looks much better, but it doesn't show you your tachometer. The tachometer is only shown on this side. This one just shows you like how much power you're using. So let's just keep it over here. You can also change the heads up display. So let's see if it shows up. So we have a navigation, then we have an assistance system, then we have another heads up display design, and we have like a plain design. So let's just keep it on the standard one, and that's all the customization you can do. Now let's take a look at the other stuff. So here you can see we have a wireless charging pad. We have some cup holders hidden right over here, which is a pretty clever design. So you have a separate cup holder for both your driver and passenger. One thing I don't like is the piano black right over here. Then we have a separate part for your controls over here. So these are your gear selectors, your start stop button, your parking brake, your auto hold. Then here we have your volume scroller, your like all your media controls, and this is the iDrive controller. And all of these have the crystal finish on it. I think it's called something clarity crystal. I don't remember the exact name, but you have that. Then on the side you can see we have the carbon fiber finish as well, which looks quite nice, and overall the build quality is nice and sturdy. Then we have some other buttons over here. So this is for your parking sensors, and you can go into different parking views. So let's go into 3D view, and we have a full mock-up of the 7 series, and in the color that you have the car as well, and you can take a look around the car and place the car in a good parking spot. Then you have some driver assistance button which you can turn off from over here. You can adjust the air suspension via this button over here. Then we have my modes, and we have a personal mode, sport mode. We can all change the displays. The display settings change up, and as you can see the ambient light changed as well. Then we go into like another efficient mode. Then we have another change. Then we have like expressive. We can change that, and it changes the lighting and everything. For some reason the blinds are opening in the expressive mode, and you can see we have pretty like different visuals over here, which looks quite nice and impressive. Then we have a relax mode, and the blind closes itself again. So for maybe if you want to relax and have the interior darkened out, you can use that. Then we have the theater mode, which definitely will opens up the theater screen. Wow, that was really nice. I did not expect that sound to come from out of nowhere. So I was not expecting that actually. That's why I kept quiet so that you guys can hear that sound. It felt really nice. But as you can see, the ambient lighting has changed again, and you can go through different modes like whatever you want. But at the moment we'll just keep it in personal and we'll leave it over there. Then we have a glove box as well, and to open the glove box you don't have anything on this side, but you have a touch sensitive button. You press that and the glove box opens up and you can keep your stuff over there. And some other storage space, that's your center armrest, which is nice and soft. You press this button, it opens up. You have two USB-Cs, a 12-volt socket and a decent amount of storage. So now let's talk about the space. I told you I have the driving seat to its lowest driving position, and I am 6'5" or 195 centimeters, and I have a decent amount of headroom. The overall comfort for my body is also pretty nice. I am on the larger side, but I feel completely comfortable in these seats, which I think is quite nice. And one more thing I wanted to show you is that when you open up the theater screen, which I'll just do right now. So as you can see, as I fold down the rear theater screen, it takes up a lot of the space that you can see over here, and you're not able to see at the back or see out of the back rear window, and that does obviously create a bit of an issue if you want to see behind. So for times like those, you'll have to use your side view mirrors. So I think overall that's all there is to show in the front of the 7 Series. Now let's move in the back and I'll show you everything over there. Alright guys, so now let's take a look at the rear seats, and to get into the rear seats is the same way as the fronts. You press this button over here and the door will open automatically for you. And let's take a look at the rear door trim first. So all the materials are similar to the one in the front, so as you expected, high quality everywhere, and the leather feels really nice and soft. Then here you can see we have the 5.5-inch touchscreen on the side door handle. It's available on both the sides. Then we have your central lock and your window switch as well, which is quite nice. And you have your automatic door button over here, along with your electronic door latch button as well. You also have the mechanical one that I showed you in the front as well. So you have in total 3 buttons just to open the door, which is quite nice. Then we have the M sill plates, and these are how the rear seats look. So quite nice, and the leather is the same as in the front, really nice and soft. But now let's take a seat inside and I'll show you around the rear. Okay, so I'm in the interior of the BMW 7 Series, and again, to close the door you just press this button right over here and the door will automatically close for you, which is quite nice. Then one thing that I have to say, like I told you, I am 6'5" or 195 centimeter, and I have the driving seat set to my driving position. So despite that, I do have a good amount of knee room, which is something I'm not used to. In most of the cars that I sit behind my driving position, it's pretty tough for me and I can't sit comfortably behind myself. But since the 7 Series is so large, I can easily sit behind myself. One thing though, prior to this 2023 7 Series, all of the 7 Series used to have a short wheelbase and a long wheelbase model, but the new 7 Series does not have that anymore, and all you get is one model, which is, by the way, larger than the previous long wheelbase model, and that obviously shows up in the space, in the amount of space that you have over here. Then in terms of headroom, I do have quite a lot of headroom, and that's not an issue. This cap is a bit high, by the way, that's why it might touch the roof, but I don't think so it's doing that. And if I remove the cap, I do have a lot more headroom. This particular 735i does not have massaging seats or the reclining seat function. You can get it as an option, by the way, but this particular 735i does not have that. And I think even if you don't have that, it's pretty comfortable, especially if someone shorter than you sits in the front. And I think you'll have a lot of room to stretch out your legs, especially if you see that seat over there compared to mine. You have a lot of leg room on that side, so I don't think that should be an issue. Let's take a look at some of the features around. So you have an AC vent right over here. You have some more AC vents over there. You have a bit of storage space down over there as well. And to control all of the functions, you have the 5.5-inch screen, which I showed you. So let me just zoom in into it. So you can control your climate control from there. You can swipe up. You have your Fire TV. You have your telephone, My Modes. light, blinds, you can control all that stuff from here. And then we have the party trick, the display, and you just press this, fold down via theater mode, and the car instantly goes into theater mode, which is quite nice. I literally feel like I'm in a movie theater. It feels so it really feels like that. And by the way, this is a 31-inch 8K screen, which is something unheard of in a luxury car. So you have this massive display right over here, and let's see if we can do some stuff. So there we go. So it is telling good morning. You can choose your language. Let's choose English. Obviously we have the Amazon Fire TV, but you do have other stuff as well. You can it has a HDMI port at the back. I hope I can just show it to you right over here somewhere. Yeah, it has an HDMI port. So technically you can attach your PlayStation 5 to it as well, but this particular 7 Series does not have an power outlet port. Then over here you can see we have the volume adjustment. Currently this particular car does not have an eSIM configured, so when you have that configured, you'll have a Wi-Fi hotspot, and you can use all of the stuff that BMW have put in for this thing. Then we have some display settings, so you can fold up the screen, you can adjust the angle of the screen itself, or you can bring the screen closer to you by pressing this button, or you can push it far back and you can adjust this angle again. Then we have another adjustment for your main screen. So at the moment it is showing 16:9. Then you can change it to 21:9, or you can change it to 32:9. But I think most of if you're, for example, if you go watch YouTube and you put 32:9, it will just zoom into the video a bit and you cannot watch it as the video is intended to be. So that's a bit of an issue. You can improve the brightness of the screen from here, and you have a lot of different display settings over there as well. For the passenger over there, he can control it, or you can control it from here. You have different, you can keep it in a more stealthy mode. If you want your time to be displayed, you can do that. You have your Bluetooth, you have your other inputs like Amazon Fire TV or HDMI. So overall, I think this is something pretty unique, and it is something what you could say, it is a good value proposition that BMW is offering when compared to something like the S-Class and the Audi A8. And just because of the screen and all the sounds it makes when you go into theater mode, I will say that the new 7 Series is better than the S-Class, is a better luxury car than the S-Class for me. And let's fold up the screen right now. So there we go, we just fold it up and the screen will go up. And let's take a look at some of the other features that we have. So we have this rear fold down armrest. You have a bit of storage space inside with 2 USB-Cs, and you might be wondering where are the cup holders. So you just have to press this button over here and you have your 2 cup holders along with a rubberized mat to keep your mobile phone. And overall, I think that's all there is to show in the new BMW 7 Series. So guys, what do I think about the new 7 Series? I'm not making my usual verdict outside the car. I'm making it inside the car because I don't feel like getting out. I'm so comfortable over here. So what do I think about the 7 Series? And I hope just from my sound, you might be you can easily identify what I think about it. I really like the new 2023 7 Series even more than the S-Class, which was my favorite luxury car in this segment. But now the new 7 Series has taken its place, and I don't think the 7 Series will be coming down from that list very soon. I'm pretty sure of that for myself. Your opinion might be different. You might like the S-Class more than the 7 Series. I'm a bit of a tech guy. I do like a lot of new technologies in cars. So this is something quite interesting. The theater screen and all the iDrive 8 and all the new systems that BMW have put into the new 7 Series. I do like all that stuff. So that's why the 7 Series kind of takes the top spot for me. And also the main thing that 7 Series does so good is the comfort and the luxury. It is top notch, and the quality level and everything else is really nice. And that's all I have to say. If you are looking to buy the new 7 Series, what I will say that is go for the 740i. The 735i is better if you want like more fuel economy, but I think the 740i is a better like balance of both fuel economy and performance. You have a good amount of horsepower, you have a decent fuel economy, and I think it's the pick of the range, the 740i. If you want a lot of horsepower and all that stuff, then I think the M760i might be for you, but at the same time it's very expensive as well. So I think the 740i is the best model in the 7 Series lineup. And obviously if you are not looking to buy the gasoline 7 Series, then you have the option of buying the i7 as well, which is electric. So there are a lot of options for you, but overall I really like the new 7 Series. And according to the question in my title, is the new 7 Series the best luxury car in its segment? I think I'll have to say, yeah, it is. For me, by the way, it might be different for you. So if you enjoyed the video, guys, do leave a like and do subscribe to the channel as well, and do turn on your bell notifications so that you will be the first ones to know when I upload new videos. And thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye bye.